so much for doing this. It's very rare that you get someone at your level of kind of fame and success to sit down with two kind of students that are just starting out. So thank you so much for this
It's an
opportunity.
absolute pleasure. No, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's an absolute pleasure.
Obviously, diving in first, 1,000 Blows season 2 came out
Yeah.
literally last week on Disney Plus, and your character Sugar Goodson, he's kind of in like a dark, alcohol-ridden place.
Yeah.
How do you kind of get into and adapt into kind of that role of being like an alcohol-ridden character on screen?
Just basically, you use you use your knowledge from life. Do you know what I mean? And where I'm from, Kirby, in Liverpool, you know, as a kid and stuff like that, you know, you go to a pub and with my uncles and stuff like that, and like you'd see lots of drunk people. And I've seen lots of drunk people. I've been drunk myself, do you know what I mean? So it's kind of understanding and just going into any kind of acting. You try and tap into that knowledge of memory recall, really.
Yeah.
That's what it's about, do you know what I mean? And then you just put yourself in that position, that situation.
Yeah. And you play it really well on screen.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I'm a big admirer of you, and you wanted to help out the next generation of people, obviously, particularly boys. What keeps you going? Why do you want to help out the next generation so much?
Because you're our future. That's the reason why I'm sat here now doing this interview with the two of you, do you know what I mean? So you can gain experience and gain knowledge. And how are you ever going to have the opportunity unless you're given the opportunity? So that's my big belief personally, do you know what I mean? You have to create opportunities for people and you have to give people a chance, do you know what I mean? Especially the youth, more than anything, in many ways. You know, the kind of thing was, I'll go on a soapbox here probably in a minute, but the kind of thing, look, people are very quick to chastise and blame the youth for certain things. You know what I mean? Oh, they sat around there drinking in the park and and all of these kind of things. But yet you have to look at it and you have to go, well, why? Why are they doing them things? In my day, look, I was lucky. We had youth clubs. Do you know what I mean? We had a place to go. At Alfie and our Grace, they had no youth clubs. Those youth clubs are being closed down. Do you know what I mean? They were closed down not long after.
Yeah, I suppose we do lack a little bit of like a community.
Exactly. And that kind of thing, the great thing about youth centres and places to go and community centres and things, if you couldn't share or talk to your parents about the problems that you had, there was someone in the community centre that you could reach out to, do you know what I mean? And it was also that kind of sense of what that does is that gives you a sense of pride in your own, because you won't throw rubbish around the streets as much because you realise that it's your streets, it's your environment. We had the Centre 63, we had the Boys Club, do you know what I mean? We had the Como, we had loads of great places. You could play 5-a-side footy, you could go on the Space Invaders, you could get a Frozy, a Wamba, do you know what I mean? We had these great places and the people that worked there were absolutely wonderful. And for me, luckily enough, do you know what I mean? I went to the Everyman Youth Theatre when I was 14. So again, I found a different environment where I could be creative. But it was people like Jerry, who worked at the Everyman Youth Theatre, that gave me that opportunity, do you know what I mean? And I saw kids from all different walks of life, do you know what I mean? I was a little scally in a trackie and a pair of trainees, do you know what I mean? But yet there was a lad in a pair of jeans with a daffodil in his pocket because he was into the Smiths. There was a girl with pink hair and it was massive. And, you know, you got to see different people from different environments and different social backgrounds. But it was where we were a collective, do you know what I mean? So I think those things are important. So that was a long answer to your question.
No, I like it.
But for me, it's about creating opportunities and creating an environment where young people can thrive.
And perhaps I feel like with social media nowadays, we don't actually get to see that kind of environment where people actually get together in real life. So I guess that's what we lack in our... But I guess for the Golden Globes, I want to touch on that a little bit.
Okay.
I watched your speech, and congratulations, by the way, on
Thank
winning.
you.
It was really quite an emotional but also fun speech. I really enjoyed it. I watched it with my mum together. And you always mention kind of being that kind of mentor for the younger generation. Obviously, your adolescence co-star, Owen Cooper, you kind of take him under your wing.
Yeah.
And you kind of want...
There was a point where I was actually telling him to sit up properly. Do you know what I mean? I was like that because he was slouching down. I tapped him. I said, "Oh, sit up."
Yeah, and you kind of have this, like, you want to send that message to the younger generation to kind of have more empathy. Who was that kind of mentor for you growing up?
My dad, Pops. He was, you know, he's my biggest hero. My mum. My mum was amazing. She was a wonderful woman, my mum. But my dad was a huge inspiration for me. Do you know what I mean? To see, with respect, to see my dad doing the hoovering. Do you know what I mean? And helping out and doing the ironing. And then for me, it was me and my mum. There was only me and my mum for those first 10 years. And then Pops came along after that, do you know what I mean? And that's when we became that family unit. But for me, it was about helping my mum out. It was being part of a team. Do you know what I mean? So that kind of empathetic side of myself, I think, that's the big thing as human beings. That's the thing that that's the thing that separates us from, I'm getting a bit deep, but that's the thing that separates us from being animals. You know what I mean? We are animals naturally, but empathy and sympathy and those kind of things for the human condition and what separates us. So for me, that's extremely important. Do you know what I mean?
I can relate on that a lot because my dad is my inspiration and like he's my teacher. And I guess probably for you, Alfie and Grace, you're kind of like that person for them. How do you kind of like to spend your time with them when you've got free time? What is it that you two get together and like bond over?
Me and Alf do the gym and things like that. You know what I mean? But me and Grace do the gym as well. It's really nice. I like taking them out and going to pictures and stuff, and we're going to have a cheeky Nando's and things like that. You know what I mean? And
what's your Nando's order?
Mine is extra hot, half a chicken, spicy rice and broccoli.
Extra hot.
Extra hot, yeah. Triple extra hot, the hottest you can get.
Oh, wow.
I'm lemon and herb.
Lemon and herb. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Lemon and, are you lemon and herb as well?
As well.
I'm extra hot. But it's that kind of thing, do you know what I mean? And it's music as well, hugely. But it's just spending time with each other, do you know what I mean? And we're very fortunate, do you know what I mean? We lead a wonderful life, and it's me and Hannah have worked exceptionally hard for us to be where we are, but we get to do some wonderful things with our children, do you know what I mean? Then you still see me mopping the floor, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And doing the ironing and helping out and doing the hoovering and all that. So you still see me doing that at home.
Yeah.
So if you see your dad doing that at home, then you realise, one, for Grace, it shows her that when she finds someone that she wants to spend her life with, she shouldn't be the one that's just doing that. It's a team game.
Yeah.
And two, Alfie, stop being a lazy little shit. You have to get involved. Do you know what I mean?
That rings a bell to me, to be fair. I often get told to do that. Your book, Letters to Our Sons, is incredibly inspiring. I think it's really unique. Firstly, could you just tell us a tiny bit more about it? We know it's coming out later this year. And what is the meaning behind this book? What do you want to achieve?
It was just one of those things where it was brought to me through a friend, Jude, and she's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful friend, and I adore her. And she works for a publishing company, and it kind of came about, there was an idea which Orly had, and it was this beautiful concept of, she said when her son was 13, a group of men in his life, she asked them to write a letter and offer him advice. And so Jude told me about this concept, and I just thought it'd make a marvellous book, and the opportunity for fathers to be able to write things down to their sons, because, look, I'm very blessed. I'm exceptionally blessed. My relationship with my dad is wonderful, and we communicate and we talk about everything. And my relationship with my son is the same. Do you know what I mean? Alfie comes to me and talks about all kind of things, problems he may have with his girlfriend, or anything that he's got going on. We're very lucky we have that communication, but not everyone has that, and I'm completely aware of that. You know what I mean? So I just thought it might be a wonderful opportunity for men, especially, because it's a difficult thing sometimes to be able to write things down instead of verbalizing them. Do you know what I mean? And talking to your child. I thought it might just be a wonderful idea. And then maybe people can look at that and gain inspiration from it.
I can imagine how emotional it will be already.
Well, I've read a few, because I've got some friends as well that I've wrote letters and I've read them, and I've been in bits.
Aww.
Honest to God, I've been in absolute bits, because they're so heartfelt, you know what I mean? And it's just beautiful to read.
Yeah, I mean,
I wanted to ask about your legacy. What legacy do you want to leave behind on that note? Because I think that there's very limited people of your caliber that are really out there and saying how much we should be with the younger generation and support men's mental health and stuff like that. So to us young people, especially boys, what is advice and what sort of legacy would you want to leave behind?
That's a great question. Legacy, I feel, is for those to decide when I'm gone. But the kind of message I would like to carry is communication. Talk to each other in any relationship. Do you know what I mean? Especially like with your girlfriend, with your wife, communication is key. I often have that conversation with my friends. And so my relationship with my wife and my daughter Grace and my son Alfie, so the three most important relationships in my life, we communicate constantly. Look, not every time it's a bed of roses, you know what I mean? But my advice would be never to go to bed on an argument. That's what I always try to tell myself primarily, do you know what I mean? But that's kind of one of the things that we try and do.
I can literally relate on that so much because in our family we kind of have this rule, like no one goes to bed without kind of sorting out what we have. I think communication is very important, and a lot of people lack it nowadays. Again, probably because of social media, this whole texting thing. But yeah, I think it is very important that we just kind of begin to have those conversations face to face. It's not that scary.
No, and it takes practice. Do you know what I mean? It does take practice, but communication is key for everything. Always let people know how you feel and let people know what's going on in your head. Do you know what I mean? Look, we as human beings, we have massive ups and we have massive downs. Do you know what I mean? And it's life is difficult and life can be difficult, but communication is key. Do you know what I mean? There's always someone there that can help you out. And as my nana used to say, a problem halved is a problem shared is a problem solved. Half, what is it?
Problem shared is a problem
halved.
A problem shared is a
problem
thank
halved.
you very much for that. Like I say, my head's gone to pot. A problem shared is a problem halved. Do you know what I mean? So it is. It's important, and you never know what you know. Someone can say the most simplest of things and make you feel great again. Do you know what I mean? Can help you out.
One thing that perhaps makes people feel great, depending on the result, is your beloved club, our beloved club, Liverpool.
Oh, nice one, you're a Liverpool fan.
Of course. Well, in terms of the season, actually, do you think Liverpool are going to do anything particular?
I don't know. I hope we get fourth spot. And then, do you know what? You never know. We're the kind of team where we could possibly win the Champions League. We probably won't, but we could possibly. You just don't know. I just think it's been such a difficult season, this one. Do you know what I mean? It's like that nightmare after the Lord Mayor's show kind of thing, the hangover after the Lord Mayor's show. Look, we've got a great group of players, do you know what I mean? Very talented players. We've got a very good manager. I wish we'd be a bit more attacking. I wish we'd start pinging crosses in. We need to have we need plan B, C and D, do you know what I mean? Not just plan A. We pass it across and back so much now. I want that flair back, do you know what I mean?
Do you ever get to go to the matches?
I do occasionally, yeah.
Ooh.
Thankfully, yeah. We took Owen actually and his missus. We took Owen and his mum and dad. Owen hasn't got a missus. I haven't broke no things there. He hasn't got a missus. We took Owen's mum and dad, and my dad and me and my wife Hannah and my kids and our kid, our Nabs. We went to watch the Liverpool Wolves game, which we won 2-1.
Thankfully.
Which was very close as well, wasn't it? You know what I mean?
Happy evening, end of the evening.
Yeah, thankfully, because we managed to get a win. But I think, look, we might as well write Isak off for the whole season.
Really? You think he's not coming back?
I don't think he'll make it back. Well, if he does, I don't know if he'll be as bang on, do you know what I mean? So we have to say, okay, next season, we've got a brand new striker.
Listen, thank you so much for being and speaking to us and being here. And yeah, all the best of luck with everything you have. You're an amazing guy. And yeah.
Thank you very much. And good luck to you two. And you've been absolutely marvellous.
Thank you so
Keep
much.
that confidence, because what was wonderful, which happens with a lot of presenters, but what was really wonderful about you two, when you came in, you were very shy. And you could see that wonderful kind of element of vulnerability. As soon as he turned them mics on, you just both went bing. And you sat upright and you were asking your questions and you were very confident. So both of you as well done. It was a huge pleasure. It was a huge pleasure. And your questions were really beautiful and very insightful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Nice one.
Well done, guys.
Thank you.